Participants Ava argues for the proposition that more police, used well, reduce crime. Maya argues cautious against broad increases without changing tactics. Ava, let's start with what the strongest identification strategies tell us. When jurisdictions add officers, through federal hiring grants, through exogenous shocks to deployment, or simply by increasing staffing, crime falls. These aren't small observational correlations. They're natural experiments and quasi-experiments. And when departments focus those officers at hotspots, the literature shows consistent, replicable crime reductions without pushing crime next door. Maya, I don't dispute the average deterrent effects, but the how overwhelms the how many. Militarized armor, indiscriminate stops, and dragnet tactics don't buy safety. And they burn trust. After high-profile police violence, communities call 911 less. That's not just optics. It's a loss of a core public safety input, citizen reporting. If more officers are used in ways that depress reporting or erode cooperation, the long-run crime picture can worsen even as arrests spike. Ava, that's precisely why I'm arguing for smart growth, not a blank check. Use officers as a precision tool. Place-based patrols at micro-locations with repeat victimization, problem-oriented projects on theft or gun violence networks, and guardianship that's visible but not militarized. Pair that with procedural justice training and supervision so street encounters are dignified. The evidence says that package works, Maya. And supervision is the fulcrum. If command staff say, go be proactive without constraints, you get stop-heavy behavior and mission creep. In one major city, a reduction in proactive stops coincided with declines in major crime. That should give us humility. Some versions of proactivity might actually be criminogenic, diverting attention from serious offenses, clogging the system with low-yield encounters, and provoking backlash that reduces reporting. Ava, fair, but we shouldn't conflate all proactivity with those models. Hotspot saturation that's respectful, bounded, and problem-solving oriented is different from blanket stop and frisk. When departments standardize tactics, time-limited foot patrols, clear goals, no fishing expeditions, they get fewer complaints and measurable crime drops. We can also embed metrics that punish low-quality stops and reward harms-reduced outcomes. Maya, metrics have to include more than UCR counts. Track citizen complaints, use-of-force incidents, 911 reporting volumes, victim satisfaction, and clearance rates. If adding officers raises arrests but doesn't improve clearances or reduces willingness to report, you're trading visible activity for invisible harm. And don't ignore distribution. Who bears the brunt of mistakes? Youth in heavily patrolled neighborhoods see psychological and educational fallout from frequent stops. Ava, that's why deployment needs a community lens. Co-produce strategies with neighborhood leaders. Schedule footbeats so residents see the same faces. Set explicit no-go lines around pretextual stops. Require explain and exit scripts for low-stakes interactions. With those guardrails, the marginal officer hour can buy real safety gains, prevented robberies, faster response times, without the collateral damage you're warning about. Maya, I want to see that in writing and in audits. Publish stop data by race, age, and location. Publish hotspot criteria. Publish after-action memos on uses of force. If agencies are transparent and invite independent evaluation, then I'm open to targeted staffing increases. But absent that, adding headcount often means reproducing the same tactics that sparked distrust. Ava, transparency is part of the performance contract. Another part is resource mix. Adding officers should come alongside investments in civilian analysts, victim advocates, and alternative responders for behavioral health calls. Free up sworn time for the problems only they can handle. Let specialists take the rest. That blend amplifies the crime reduction effect per officer. Maya, and pair it with legitimacy building. Community meetings that aren't PR, youth engagement that isn't a photo op, and procedural justice training that actually changes behavior, not checkbox modules. Field experiments show that respectful, non-enforcement contact moves attitudes. If we're increasing presence, let's increase the quality of presence. Ava. Agreed. Let me be concrete about a deployment playbook. Identify micro-locations with persistent serious crime. Run time-bound foot patrols with clear objectives. Use data to target repeat victimization and prolific offenders with guardrails against bias. Require no phishing rules. Documentation and supervision for all stops. Body-worn camera review with feedback loops. Track not just crimes prevented, but trust indicators and reporting volumes. Adjust if they slip. Communicate, publish dashboards, and invite academic partners to replicate the results. Maya, I'd add 2 protections. First, a trust floor. If complaint rates or 911 reporting fall below thresholds, scale back or change tactics in those beats. Second, a youth shield. Prohibit stop targets near school dismissal and require special protocols for minors. The research on psychological harms is persuasive. Exposure matters. Ava, those are reasonable constraints. There's also the question of diminishing returns. The first tranche of officers allocated well has big effects. The 10th may not. Cities should estimate their crime police elasticity, then optimize to the point where the social benefit of crime reductions equals the social cost of staffing and potential harms. Maya, optimization also means recognizing that some crime types respond weakly to patrol. For those, investigations, environmental design, or social services might dominate. The myth that patrol solves everything is corrosive. It sets officers up to fail and communities up for disappointment. Ava, totally. The evidence I'm citing is strongest for place-based violence and property offenses. For intimate partner violence, cybercrime, or complex fraud, you need investigators, prosecutors, and service partners, not just more blue uniforms. Maya, then maybe our disagreement is narrower than it sounds. I'm not anti-police, I'm anti-unreflective expansion. If increases come with tactical reform, transparency, and a portfolio approach to public safety, I'm willing to support them. If they're just headcount hikes with the same aggressive playbook, I'm not. Ava. And I'm saying that, implemented with precision and procedural justice, more officers can reduce harm quickly and credibly, especially when paired with alternatives and accountability. Build the system that earns cooperation and the numbers move in the right direction. Maya. So the joint recommendation is, align staffing with targeted, audited strategies, invest in legitimacy, publish the data, and be ready to pivot. That's a version of more cops I can live with. Ava. Then let's write it up and hold ourselves to it. Public safety should be measurable, humane, and fixable when it goes wrong. More officers can help achieve that, but only if we design for both safety and trust from the start.